thank you that all of you have joined. And I'm very excited to have you all join us so that you can learn about our exciting new changes about the CANSA Seal of Recognition. So before we start, I'll be leading the proceedings today. I'd like to introduce you to the Chief Executive Officer, our CEO, Elise Joubert of CANSA, and she's going to say a few words of welcome for us.
Thank you, Lucy. Good afternoon, and I'm extending a really warm welcome to all of you at our webinar, and I want to thank you for joining us. I know that you all have very busy schedules and for taking the time to join when we are going to present to you our new revitalized CANSA Seal of Recognition program. Now, firstly, I really wish to thank our dedicated and loyal partners who've been supporting this program for so many years, because not only have you helped us to stay sustainable and to stay relevant, but you've actually significantly contributed to lowering the cancer risk in South Africa by helping us to educate our public to lead a balanced and a smart lifestyle. I'm really also very excited because this year we are celebrating our 90th anniversary. Each decade, since our very humble beginnings there in the early 1950s, CANSA has grown and we've developed a comprehensive service program to the public, through which we have already made over the years such positive, significant difference to so many people affected by cancer. And I believe that our founders would be very, very proud of us, of what we've achieved and still strive to achieve. And so it's indeed a remarkable milestone for an MPO to have survived these 19 years. And be assured, we are so committed to continue to make our significant impact on cancer control in South Africa, and based on our values of leadership, improvement, passion, accountability, and integrity. Now, in the early 2000s, we introduced our CANSA Seal of Recognition program to our consumers so that we can educate them on those products that will lower their cancer risk. The program is indeed dynamic and evolves as we keep up with the trends of the industry and with regulations. So today, it's all about presenting to you our new vision and the way we are foreseeing to go forward with this program so that we can, with our current existing partners, and look at ways how we can even be more beneficial to our consumers. It's also an opportunity, of course, to invite new brands to come on board and to partner with us so that you can also contribute your bit to lowering the cancer risk in South Africa. Now, Megan Pence-Clates, our nutrition and dietetics consultant to CANSA, will share with you our vision of our new look and feel and how we foresee we are going to grow the program. I also now want to thank and express our gratitude to some of our partners that provided prizes for our online competition. Now, of course, Lucy will a bit later in the program share a bit more details or participate. We are further so delighted to have a message of support from Dr. Darren Green, who is a medical doctor, professional speaker, media personality, and recording artist and neuro wellness consultant. Yeah, he's indeed become such a well-known household brand, and him supporting our program. We also want to recognize that it is so important in these trying times and challenging climate in South Africa and all across the world that we need strong partnerships that will help us to reach our mission and our objectives. And therefore, again, we're looking forward to continue the journey with our most valuable partners. And I hope that we will have a lot of new partners joining us after this relaunch. Now we've got a great deal of work to do to promote our seal, and we remain committed to moving our mission forward. And with that said, I'm looking forward with great optimism to the session today and to the road ahead. I thank you.
Thank you, Elise, for those words of welcome. But before we get to Megan, who's going to be presenting today, we are so fortunate that many of our existing CANSA Seal of Recognition partners have provided some wonderful prizes for us today. And in order for any of you who are watching today, if you would like to enter and win a prize, there is an online competition. It will be posted in the chat box. And we'd like you to take part in order for you to answer the questions. They're multiple choice, so it's not very difficult, but you'll have to follow what Megan's saying so that you know what the answers will be. And we're so excited. I just want to share with you some of the prizes that we've got from our existing partners. You know, the first one is Imtunzini hats. They are actually one of our, what we call in the category of protection, you know, with the sunscreens, any UV garment, umbrellas. So Imtunzini hats have come on board and they have provided these prizes for us. And then we've got one of our, in the edibles category, we've got Rugani juices. Rugani do the vegetable juices. They're one of our partners that have come on board actually in the last year, and they are going to be giving, it includes the blender plus a recipe to make a berry and tomato smoothie. So all the ingredients and the recipe card is included, except of course the fresh ingredients, which we'll have to get. Again, in the edibles category, we have Be Well. They do the canola oil, and as you can see, you get that lovely hamper. Be Well also actually worked in conjunction with us and produced a CANSA Smart Choice cookbook, which Megan will tell you about a little bit later. And then from, again, we've got a beverage, we've got Red Espresso. Red Espresso is the rooibos tea, which you know is very good in helping to lower the risk of cancer. And they are providing the plunger plus the pods. So that's a lovely prize as well. And then moving back to our protection category, we've got Urban Supply, who are actually giving us 5 of those beautiful hats. As you can see in the protection category, the hats are wide brimmed. They give you good protection, covering the back of the neck and the ears. So we are so grateful, and thank you to all our partners. So guys, you need to all enter the competition. All the details are there, and then you will go into a lucky draw system, and we will announce the winners. I think it closes on Sunday. I think it's 6 p.m. The details are there. There we go. Closes Sunday night, actually at 11 o'clock. It's all posted there. And then we will we'll announce the winners on Monday. Once we know the details, it will be a random draw. Okay, so let's get going. I am now going to ask Megan to actually present for us. As Elise mentioned, she's our nutrition and dietetics consultant to the Cancer Association of South Africa. She's been part of the SEAL program for many years. Part of what we call the Research Operations Committee. Whenever a brand comes across to us and we have to do the approval process, she gets involved, especially in the edibles category. She works very closely with the National Department of Health to know what the rules and the regulations and the guidelines are. And she's very involved with all sorts of recipes, assisting us with a lot of information that we provide to cancer patients and survivors. When they're going through treatment, there are a lot of side effects. So Megan plays a huge integral role in making sure that we've got information ready for our audiences. So let's get straight into it. Megan is going to speak, and Emmanuel is going to share the slides for us because Megan had to join on her phone. So Megan, over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lucy, for the kind introduction. I'll just wait for the slides to come up. Thank you, Emmanuel. Welcome, everyone, and thank you to all of you for being here today. It's a really exciting opportunity to share this with you. And as I take you through it, please remember about the poll and click on the link. You can see what's being asked, and as I go through it, you can find those answers. Same would be if you have any questions. Once again, just remember there is a chat box. Please feel free to put your question into the chat box. Depending on how much time we have at the end, we would definitely like to at least look at your questions, answer them if possible. If not, then we will definitely send you an answer if you put a contact number or email address in there. But let us see how we go ahead. Thank you, Manuel. So I think it's very important. We need to remember that we do have the POPI Act and that this is a virtual meeting and it is being recorded. So please just take note of that you do agree basically by default, by remaining in the meeting, that you do give consent for us to be part of this meeting and to record it. So this is a very, very exciting time. Not only are we doing a revamp when it comes to the seal, but we also are in our 90th year. So we have a credible reputation with all stakeholders since 1931. So this is very exciting for us. Not only are we celebrating our 90th year, but we are also celebrating the seal. So then what is the seal all about? Firstly, the Smart Choice Seal is about helping to reduce the risk of cancer. And we want to try and lower exposure to carcinogens and other risk factors that have been shown to be linked to cancer. So how do we do this? Well, very, very importantly, we need to follow a certain protocol. And in terms of that, we look at the highest level of evidence. So we look at credibility, and I'm going to just discuss that briefly as well. We look at promotion and the benefit of the seal, as well as then I'm going to take you through the very exciting seal of recognition categories. So the CANSA Smart Choice Seal, as you can see it here, is to promote a balanced and smart lifestyle. The CANSA Smart Choice Seal is basically a tool that we can use, and it's here to actually help you to make smarter, healthier, and more informed choices. In terms of looking at credibility, this is a very important factor. And we look at the highest level of evidence that is available currently. So when it comes to the Department of Health, we have the Department of Health looked at a dossier that we as CANSA did prepare and submit to them. And with that, they were then able to grant us permission, grant CANSA permission to act as an endorsing body for the CANSA Seal of Recognition program. And what we know is that this is quite a unique offering, and for cancer, it's a first of its kind. And I can actually go one step further and tell you that it is a first of its kind in the world today. No other cancer association has a smart seal that they actually do put onto foodstuffs or any other category that they have shown to reduce the risk of cancer. It's only awarded to products that have undergone testing at an independent laboratory. So this is very important as well. We look at laboratories in terms of, are they SANIS accredited laboratories? Do they comply with the national standards, or if necessary, international standards? And of course, we look at evidence-based requirements for each category. Now, evidence-based requirements are actually really very important. With our evidence-based, what we're looking at is we're looking at the highest level of evidence. We all know we can get research, and we all know that we get different types of research. But when we're looking at research, look at the seal, we try to find research that is at the highest level. So particularly looking at different review articles, articles that have been peer reviewed, and then of course looking at things like a meta-analysis. These are your highest levels of evidence when it comes to looking at particularly any type of ingredient, or be it something that, or carcinogen that potentially can increase the risk of cancer. And by doing that, we are able then to assess the actual product better. So these science-based requirements are reviewed regularly, and that's very important. So the document that we gave in, or the dossier that we submit to the Department of Health, was basically our launching pad. But very importantly, as science evolves, we know so does research, and we become more clear on things that are potential carcinogens and not. And with that in mind, we then update our working document to ensure we look at the latest available evidence. And of course, once again, we have to look at the latest best quality of evidence as well. We look at the quality assurance processes that products are going through. We look at randomized independent testing, and very importantly, compliance with national label legislation. Now, this is pivotal because legislation, when it comes to labeling, has a lot to do with what's on the label, as well as the advertising that goes into the product. And we as CANSA look and try and assure that whatever is in the legislation is on the label or not on the label. So we don't allow any appropriate use when it comes to labeling or when it comes to advertising. What about promotion and benefit? I'm sure you can agree with me that today when we go into a supermarket, it is really important to have a little bit of information. And why is that? Because you are bombarded with shelves and shelves and shelves full of products. So today we, the consumers, are very often more health conscious, and we want to know which product is a better product, be it from a health perspective. And we also want to ensure that it is something that has been tested independently, knowing then that it adds credibility. So this is what we aim to do at CANSA with the Smart Choice Seal program. So just to come back to, consumers associate CANSA Smart Choice Seal with the smarter, healthier choices and a reduction in cancer risk. So to use the seal on packaging and promotional activity, we try and promote the actual benefits as well as the business. So we want to try and demonstrate independent verification of quality by us looking at the product, and also by having independent laboratories with international or standard or national standards in place and looking at the product. And I think at this point it's really important to mention that when we look at the product, we don't only look at what's inside the product, we look at the product in totality. So if it was a foodstuff, we would look at the packaging, we look at the labeling, we then look at the ingredients. We also go one step further, depending on what the evidence shows, to look at any type of pesticides, pesticide residues. We look at looking at all these different aspects to help to ensure that the quality and the verification of quality is at the highest level. Increasing credibility and acceptance with consumers and retailers, and of course, compliance with the latest local and international standards, which I've mentioned already. Distinguishing the product as a healthier alternative. So in certain product categories, the seal does then give you that reassurance that it's been independently looked at and all the different aspects that I've now mentioned. Establishing a brand as then a healthy, or health conscious rather, responsible and consumer centered product, and utilizing the opportunity to host joint promotions with CANSA and to educate the community. So what is really important here is to know that we look at trying to improve health of all South Africans on all different levels. And the idea is to develop a smarter, lower cancer lifestyle by enabling the availability of these products. So here they are. This is very exciting. I wanted to show you, these are our 5 different categories, and I'm going to take you through each category at this point. If we can just see the next slide, we'll see there that the actual process. Now, this is quite tiny, so I'm not going to take you in too much detail, but I do think it's nice that you get a bit of an idea of what we actually are looking at and the type of process that we follow. So very importantly, I'm not going to take you through verbatim, but just to give you a little bit of an idea, we have certain people who have products that they are looking at as potentially being those that we could partner with to help reduce the risk of cancer in our country. And they then submit an application form. And just so that we are aware, those application forms are available on our website if anybody would be interested. And you can then submit the information that's then required for your product. The submission then comes through to us. We look at your application, we review it, and then we look at different angles. If it is a product that immediately we can see does fulfill the requirements that we have in place, we then can go to the next step, which is approving the product. However, of course, sometimes there might be something that you're not even aware of as, say, a manufacturer or a producer. And in that instance, we will then liaise with you. We will say that we need to maybe look at adapting the product in some way. It could be as simple as maybe a label adaptation. It could be a little more complicated in terms of an ingredient or something in that line. And of course, we will also consult with our research committee if needed and get back to you on that. We want to always try and work together with people who are interested as we are in helping to reduce the risk of cancer. So if you think you're a potential partner and you have a product that you think could be beneficial, then please do look at our website and know that we are very excited to have a whole basket of goods that are available to improve and reduce the risk of cancer. When we do partner, we go to the next step. Once we've been able to assess that this is a product that we would like to bring on board, then we do go to the next step. And that is, we do look at the marketing, which we do jointly. And at that point, we will then compile an announcement, which will go out to the public to make them aware that there is a new product that they can be on the lookout for cancer. And we then retain that partnership with our partners in if there are any subsequent opportunities, either from the partner side with certain events, and from a marketing and advertising point of view, we can actually do this together. And that you've met Lucy, she's our marketing executive for cancer, and she would then also be very involved with the marketing of the products when there are certain events involved. So our first category is we're looking at the protection category. So let me just have a zone in a little bit at the Smart Choice CANSA Seal. Can you see over there we've got the Smart Choice CANSA Seal on your left-hand side, and you will see that the shield has actually been highlighted. Just a little bit of background that might be quite interesting to know is that this was something that went through a poll to decide which are the better or options to look at in terms of depicting certain categories. And the protection category, we looked at the shield. These are products offering protection against natural environmental elements that may lead to cancer. So it includes your solar radiation, contaminated water, air pollution, and that may apply in this instance. And the products that we're looking at this point in time, but it's not only limited to that, is of course our sunscreens, and many of you know our sunscreens very well. So those are very important, particularly with our sun, and our UV protective garments for the entire family, also different apparel and some nice prizes, as we know as well. So please remember to keep an eye on that and to enter into the poll. Sunglasses, shade items, and solar and other radiation warning devices are all part of this category. So we want to grow this category to ensure that we help to reduce the risk of cancer through offering protection against environmental elements. Of course, the edible consumer goods category is very close to my heart, and I've been working with the category probably the longest. And when we actually went to the Department of Health, it was very, very exciting because they just updated the legislation, and they then invited different organizations and associations to submit their dossiers to be enable us to put our CANSA Smart Seal onto products. And this is where we were able then to become more involved in helping to reduce the risk of cancer through making available products that are going to help to do that. So the CANSA Smart Choice, you can see the seal looks, the color is different, and you can see that the actual icon is different. And these are products that assist in reducing cancer risk. They are free from all known carcinogens, from toxins, hormones, and or endocrine disruptors. They include, but once again, are also not limited to our different food groups, which might include dairy, various plant foods, meat and poultry and fish. There are different fats, and in our hamper we also did refer to the Be Well oil, canola oils, and of course nuts and seeds and various beverages. Also with Regani, one of our prizes as well. So this is very exciting as we include all these different products into our bag or our basket of available products. And it gives me great pleasure to let you know that we have just been able to bring a new partner on board. And many of you might have seen as you're walking up and down in the aisles, close to all the different packaged goods, particularly our beans. And in this instance, our legumes. So we know our legumes includes things like our chickpeas and our lentils and our beans. And our Embo and Crossbow have both come on board. We're very excited about this, and more than 20 products are going to or have been approved. And here I again can tell you that we went through the process of looking at the actual content of the different products. So in this instance, we looked particularly at their fiber content. We then looked at the residue, if there was any pesticide residue content, and what is acceptable and what not. And we then also were able to assess it in such a way, were these products that potentially could help to reduce our risk, and they are, and we've brought them on board. So please, next time when you go in store, look out for your Embo and your Crossbow products, and we're very excited to have them on board. Now, when it comes to our non-edible consumer goods, can you once again see what the emblem looks like there, and also that the color is different? So this brings in our non-edible consumer products that do not contain carcinogenic, hormone disruptive, or toxic substances that can be absorbed through the skin, inhaled, or leach into food. This is what this category looks at. And the products that we're looking at here are food preparation devices, different various containers, cosmetics, toiletries, sanitary products, and various household cleaning materials. So very exciting as well as we build our basket of goods is to ensure that we're looking not only at a protection from the environment for the body, but also in terms of the products that we're utilizing on our body or in our environment. Patient care. This is also a category that came on board in the last couple of years, and it's one that has grown. Here we're looking at products that may enhance the quality of life, dignity, healthcare, and support of cancer patients and survivors, and are free of all known cancer-causing and hormone-disruptive chemicals. So this really incorporates a lot of different products that will help to ensure a better quality of life for all. And this leads me to present to you our latest and newest category, and that is the one of physical activity. I don't think there's anyone here that can say for 1 minute they don't realize the benefits of physical activity. And what's really exciting is that we now know that there is a high level of evidence that has been proven to show that exercise or physical activity can help to reduce your cancer risk. There's enough evidence as well, and there's specific doses of aerobic, combined aerobics, plus resistance training and or resistance training could improve common cancer-related outcomes. And this includes various different elements such as anxiety, depressive symptoms, fatigue, physical functioning, and of course, health-related quality of life. And as you can see, when you look at the reference, we're already looking at references that are very, very recent, knowing that we've built up to this, we right all the way through in terms of general health, and now also to help to reduce the risk of cancer. I think it's really important when it comes to the physical activity category that we need to always look at what would we consider as part of this activity. So we are going to partner with various organizations and exercise programs and equipment that can help to support recommended physical activity guidelines that are in place and have been, got the highest level of evidence. Importantly, we can never take the place of a person's independent and individual healthcare professional. And so we always need to look at a disclaimer when using any equipment or when using any of the programs, any type of requirement regarding physical activity, we do need to ensure that it is right for that specific person. We do ask them to get the go-ahead from their healthcare professional. And with this in mind, I would like to bring on board someone that was mentioned earlier, Dr. Darren Green, and let's hear what he has to say about physical activity.
Hi everybody, my name is Dr. Darren Green, and I'm privileged to be a medical doctor who works especially in the field of sports and exercise medicine, as well as emergency medicine on a day-to-day basis. And there's so much being said about physical activity, sport, exercise nowadays, and I think it's important to put some of these factors in the limelight. One of them specifically is that many people don't know that there's a correlation or a link between a sedentary lifestyle, a lack of physical activity, and cancer. For example, we tend to hammer and focus a lot on preventing chronic lifestyle diseases like diabetes, hypertension, etc., and forget that cancer can also be prevented. And that leads me to the point where I'm so excited about the Cancer Association of South Africa's initiative, where they've introduced a special category in terms of managing the risks around developing cancer. And this new category is physical activity, and how we approach creating an awareness around this wonderful thing called physical activity, or for some people with a negative attitude, the word exercise. And we've all heard the saying that sitting is in fact the new smoking. So there is a direct correlation between sedentary lifestyle and cancers, specifically things like colon and breast cancer, and many more cancers, in fact, that are being proven to be linked to this kind of sedentary lifestyle. So what I want to say is, what do the experts say internationally about what the recommendations for exercise are? When we look at the American Heart Association guidelines, we speak about doing 150 minutes of exercise per week. So if you divide that up, that's 5 days of doing 30 minutes of exercise. And that refers specifically to moderate exercise activity. So 150 minutes of moderate exercise means your heart rate will go up, your breathing will become a little bit more labored, but you'll still be able to talk like I'm talking to you now and finish your sentences with ease. The other recommendation is, if not doing the 150 moderate exercise minutes, to do 75 vigorous or rigorous exercise minutes. And what does rigorous exercise mean? Well, it means you start becoming a lot warmer, hotter, you start sweating, and you also then can't have the conversation I'm having with you right now because of the degree and intensity of the exercise. So I hope you remember those numbers: 150 moderate exercise and 75 obviously of rigorous or rigorous exercise. When we think of exercise prescriptions, you've heard things like exercise is medicine. And we look at the FIT principles when prescribing exercise for people. We look at the frequency, the intensity, the type of exercise, and then obviously the time, how long we exercise. So those are important components when someone does help you with the program. Remember to ask about the FIT principles. And then we also have to look specifically at examples of exercise according to your age, your gender, where you live, and your medical history. Remember that the pitfalls as to why people lose interest in physical activity often include things like, I'm going to fail, I've tried it before, I just can't push through, I get so tired. And often that's a result of biting off more than you can chew. In other words, going too hard or too challenging an exercise too soon. So that means that an exercise activity, or a physical activity rather, must be chosen around your physical abilities initially to get you, into a graded progressive program safely. So just think of someone living in a retirement village. If you ask them to go and do some weightlifting and powerlifting and to do an hour run in the gym, they're going to look at you, well, some older people might look at you with a really, really startled look. But things like line dancing, things like walking, things like hiking, for example, are just as beneficial to you in terms of getting into a structured and progressive increase in your physical activity. How does this physical activity benefit the human body? Well, on every system level, from the brain, where it improves blood flow to the brain and a regulation, obviously, of the neurotransmitters in the brain, the chemical messengers, to the heart, where you have increased cardiac output, where you have increased blood flow to the vessels of the heart itself, the coronary vessels, to the lungs, where you start ventilating better, and to the musculoskeletal system, where, for example, your muscle mass, you maintain it. You don't just lose everything as we progress and get older. We look also at the bones. Did you know that when you exercise and there's actually a bit of mechanical pressure or strain on the bones, it stimulates the production of stem cells, brand new stem cells in the human body. And with that and weight management, we all know what happens in sedentary lifestyle and in the winter months with a little bit of fat around the middle area and the risks of obesity. You can manage your weight better in terms of having regular physical activity. And that affects your mood, it affects your mental health, it affects your sleeping pattern, for example, and your degree of self-confidence. So when we consider, obviously, all these health benefits of exercise on the human body, it's really difficult to actually not move into action. So today we celebrate with the Cancer Association and encourage you, obviously, to start moving, even if it's just a small increment change of walking around the block, of standing up more frequently during the day from your desk, and just even taking a walk in the park with your friends. That already is more beneficial than you not doing anything at all. So don't think, if I can't exercise for 30 minutes, I won't do anything. Because even the 5 minutes of getting up and walking around, or the 10 minutes of going around the block, can make a massive, massive difference. There's some creative initiatives that you can join going forward in terms of things like park runs, in terms of hikes, hiking clubs, community initiatives, as I mentioned earlier, line dancing initiatives, and many different forms of engaging in physical activity. So today, I hope that we've energized you and motivated you to get going, get moving, and to prevent cancer with us.
As part of CANSA's 90th birthday, we are revitalizing the Seal of Recognition program. The seal now has a new look and feel, making it easier to spot the products that will help you lower the risk of cancer. Each category is color-coded, making it more convenient for you. Also introducing our new physical activity category. Go to cansa.org.za to learn more and see all of our Seal of Recognition partners and the products they have to offer. Lowering the risk of cancer together.
I'm sure you're as excited as what I am to introduce the categories, and particularly our last category. And here I have a very exciting introduction to make, and she's also going to just say hi to us. So we're very proud to have our new CANSA Seal of Recognition coordinator come on board, and she's brand new. She joined us at the beginning of the month. And Kutsai, could you maybe just come and say hi to us? Also, everyone can see you, and we're very, very excited to be working on this, the Seal of Recognition and the CANSA Seal program with you.
Hi, everyone. I'm Kutsai. I'm the new CANSA Seal of Recognition coordinator. I am a microbiologist, and I have a Master of Science in Public Health. I have worked previously with grassroots organizations in the community on health education, from basic condom programming, teaching people about hygiene. And I've also worked with Access International, which is a company that is very patient-centered and works in bridging the gap between access and affordability of drugs, in particular cancer drugs. I've also worked with the United Nations on a project that was looking at prison settings to support and look at those communities like prisons that are usually left out of programming, and to also help lower the risk of HIV in prisons. So I'm very excited to be joining CANSA at this time when they're revitalizing the seal. I look forward to working with our existing partners. I look forward to meeting all of you and getting to know all of you, and to any of the brands that have joined us today. If you would like to join us in lowering the risk of cancer, please get in touch. You will get my details in the chat box below, and you will also get more information from the links that have been posted. I'm very, very excited to be a part of CANSA going forward. Thank you.
So when we look at how we are hoping to spread the word regarding the seal going forward to everyone, we first, and you've already seen just a little bit of what our visual media looks like now. And of course, we also have some really exciting animation that's available. And please log on to our website. There it is. There's the link. Log on, have a look. You can actually get all the different categories if you've missed out on something. We've got the new seal of recognition there. You can also have a look at our different products that are available. And we'll obviously update it as we have more products available or any information. You also have the opportunity to send any questions or ask anything if you'd like. And we'd like to keep you updated on all the happenings of cancer, and the website is the place to go. But in some of the other ways in which we can also look out for the seal, and maybe Manuel can just show us the next slide, which does indicate how we go about some of our planned activities, which is, you can see over there, as we call them on the left-hand side, are our shelf wobblers. Some more information. If you see those, you definitely are also heading in the right direction of products that have gone through this stringent testing, and you can know that it has been tested independently. We're going to be looking at, as we've said, the different animations. We've also got how we're going to educate a little bit further, which is a really fun one, looking at the different categories, explaining them to everyone. And of course, then looking at certain categories, like our two, on the right-hand side of our slide, you'd be able to pick up that the first one looks at lowering the risk of cancer together, which is all the different categories, which is really fun because that can lead to a reduction in cancer lifestyle, because we have all the different categories that we are covering, and now with our new exciting physical activity category as well. And then if we do look at our protection category, here's just a simple example of, once again, how we can become sun smart by making better choices. And one way of ensuring that you're making a good choice is to look out for the seal on the products, knowing that when you look at the sunscreen, we've looked at all the different ingredients, and we've also looked at what type of SPF it has, if it meets the current guidelines that are set and will help to reduce the risk for cancer. This is basically just an enlargement of what is on the previous slide. And here you can see our different categories, just to become a little bit more familiar with it. And once again, you can go back to our website, have a look there if you have forgotten, but it's going to become quite clear, because every time you look at the Cancer Smart Choice seal, whichever category it is, that category under the actual word cancer on the Smart Choice seal will be highlighted in that particular color. And it will then indicate that specific category. Once again, the non-edibles, our patient care category, protection, physical activity, and edible consumer goods. I want to say thank you very much for joining me on my part, which is the presentation, looking at the different Cancer Seal Smart Choice Program categories.
So much, Megan. Wonderful. So I don't see any questions on the chat box. If anybody has any questions, you're welcome to make use of the chat box. Unless you want to raise your hand, and we'll try and mute you. I don't see anybody that has their hand raised. So I just want to ask, we are now going to ask, before Megan runs away, I think we're going to show a recipe. Am I right, Megan? I think I just wanted you to tell everyone about the CANSA Smart Choice book and then our recipe. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that, Lucy. We're very excited that in 2018, together with one of our partners, which is the Be Well Canola Oil, we put together a really fun recipe book. So if you go onto their website and you look for the Smart Choice recipe book, and we are also going to post onto our platform, which would be our Facebook, and hopefully we'll be able to put onto the other platforms as well, the link that will take you to the actual Smart Choice recipe book, and you can download it for free. And I've looked through all the different recipes, collated them. They were able then to produce the recipes, make them look fabulous. And very, very importantly is, why did we partner with the Be Well and the canola oil? And it is because it has a very high content of omega-3. And we know today that a high content of omega-3 has been shown to be beneficial in helping to reduce the risk of cancer. And of course, at CANSA, what we do as well is we're looking at the ratio. So we have much more omega-3, which is more anti-inflammatory. And your canola oil, we never do advocate deep fat frying, but if you are going to do a little bit of cooking with oil, this is a great oil because it also does have a very high smoking point, which means it retains its goodness and it doesn't oxidize that easily. So with that in mind, I'd like us just to have a look at some of this. There's the one video that will take you through the recipe and how much fun it can be using the canola oil. These will also be available on our social media platforms. And of course, you can download them with the recipe. And then, of course, don't forget about our Smart Choice.
Hey, I'm Mishka and we are back in the Be Well kitchen. And today we are making a super anti-inflammatory meal. We are doing a poached aubergine and fish curry. We're going to begin with our starting base, which is obviously going to be for most of the curries. We are tapping into our Be Well Pure canola oil. Now, the reason why this is an anti-inflammatory health product is because it does contain high amounts of omega-3. Now, there's been lots of studies that have shown that omega-3 plays a huge part in one's body in decreasing inflammation and working alongside all the other elements in the body that help to decrease inflammation and just optimize your health. So, into our pan, we're going to get it onto medium heat. Okay, so now we're going to start off, like I said, that Indian infusion, but not only that, it has incredible anti-inflammatory properties, also high in antioxidants. Our first one is mustard seed. Now this one is the yellow mustard seed, and how we actually activate it is we have to actually heat it up and crush it up. It's also really good for your bones. It contains so much selenium. And over here we have our other whole spice, which is our whole cumin seed. So these are going to go into the canola oil and they're going to start heating up, and as soon as they release some of their fragrance, we know that those are done. Now I really love curry leaf, is besides the aromatic flavor and that really depth of fragrance that it gives to any of your food, it's such an incredible health supporting ingredient. Oh, it is flattering. It means the onions are ready to get in. Okay, cool. Next we are adding in 3 cloves of garlic, another amazing anti-inflammatory ingredient. Full teaspoon of your paprika. Our garam masala, also half a teaspoon of black pepper, and then again just a half a teaspoon of our salt. Okay, so while my onion is sauteing and softening on the stove, I am going to begin prepping my aubergine. Now we want to use 6 baby aubergine. If you can't find baby, it's fine, cut them in half, but you are going to create this kind of step. So first step is we're going to remove the stem, this little hat that they have on. And then from the other end, so from this end, basically we're going to create a cross. And we're going to make sure that we don't cut it all the way to the end. And then another cross, so it's like a plus sign. And then we're going to dissect in the other way. So through this area over there, basically we want to create 8 sections. Everything here is nice and sauteed. I'm going to add just a splash of water. And as soon as this reduces just a little bit, I'm going to be adding in 3 tomatoes that have already been blanched and chopped, but convenience wise it's fine. You can also use a can of chopped tomatoes, and that we're going to get in with 1 tablespoon of our tomato puree. Okay, so while my tomato and onion mixture is busy reducing and just like cooking off in the pan, I'm going to need 1 tablespoon of a chili ginger garlic mix. And now our beautiful little aubergine flowers get dropped in, and they're going to be poaching while I move on to prepping my fish that's going to go in as well. Okay, so moving on to our next component and our final component. It's how we began with our canola oil, which is packed with the omega-3. We are going to end off with the same kind of pop of omega-3. I'm speaking about adding in a beautiful fatty fish. Okay, now we're going to add these slices into the poached aubergine mixture, and then we're going to basically just cover it with a 1/4 lemon. So you'll see me squeezing over some of this juice and then cover it with a little bit of sauce, and basically your curry is done. We do not want to overcook our fish, but we just want to let the sauce infuse into the meat.
We all strive to lower the risk of cancer. With over 90 years of experience and choice guidance, let the CANSA Seal of Recognition program help you with your smart choice. Neil is planning an afternoon at the beach and needs a few supplies from the store before his afternoon adventure. Neil is all about healthy, active living and is looking forward to some sun, fresh air, and needs to top up on his sunscreen before he forgets again. Also in the store is the beautiful Zanella, stocking up on her monthly groceries and checking out the shelf tags and product information as she blissfully does her shopping. Zanella is all about making the smart choice and believes in doing all she can to lower her own risk of cancer. The Smart Choice Seal of Recognition endorsement program is part of an ongoing effort by the Cancer Association of South Africa to reduce exposure to carcinogens and other risk factors associated with cancer development, from edible to non-edible consumer goods and even patient care, where they strive to enhance the quality of life, dignity, health, care and support of cancer patients and survivors alike. Making the smart choice has never been easier. Just be sure to look for the Cancer Smart Choice endorsement logos to find the best option to reduce your own risk. Zanella searches the shelves, from dairy products, plant foods, meats, oils and beverages, and makes the smart choice. Zanella is all done with her shopping, carefully putting her cleverly selected items into the trolley and making her way to the checkout counter. Zanella sees Neil. They have been friends for years. Neil has forgotten what he came to the store for after seeing Zanella and invites Zanella to join him at the beach later. Both Neil and Zanella enjoy an amazingly sunny afternoon together catching up. Before long, Neil suddenly remembers.
Thank you very much. Just want to say a big thank you to Megan. Thank you for sharing your knowledge and taking part in our session. Always good to educate, and we hope that we've got many new brands and partners that want to come on board with us. And that was just a teaser animation to show you some of the work that we have prepared. So a big thank you to EP Digital. They have been part of the planning process. And I think we're actually done for the day. You will find all of the links, all of the recipes on our chat box and on our website. Just go to our website under the Seal section. You'll find everything there. And as we close off, we're going to be playing out with one more short recipe. But thank you everybody for joining. A reminder, please take part in the online competition. It only closes on Sunday night, so you've got time. Just go and answer all the questions. It's a multiple choice. So we hope that you have been educated and that you have learned new ways of lowering your risk. We'll also be sharing the links to all the recipes, and the link to this presentation will be shared on our online media as well. So a big thank you for everyone for taking part, and hope everyone stays warm and has a good day. Thank you.
Hey, I'm Mishka and we are back in the BWAL kitchen, and today we are making a super green Power Ranger soup. So so let's see the ingredients that are going into our pot to make this most amazing soup ever. First step is to get our onions nice and chopped. So you can see I have a mixture of different onions. You don't have to, you can totally just choose one if you need. Cool, so my onions are all chopped up. I am actually gonna heat up my oil, and today I'm gonna go with the B-Well canola oil. It's pure canola oil. I love it. It's GMO free, it's locally produced, but besides that, for health benefits and why it fits in with the rest of my ingredients is because it is packed with omega-3 and the perfect ratio of omega-6. So I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons to my pot. So my onions are busy braising. I've also put a kettle on the stove because we're going to use some boiling water soon. I'm going to move on to my garlic. Garlic is in. We're just going to let them fry for a little bit, and then I'm going to add the boiling water that I've prepared. Okay, so the onion and garlic is getting soft with the water. I'm going to make vegan stock. 2 teaspoons. I'm going to add 1 cup of water. I am going to add in my zucchini. We're going to replace the lid and just let them cook and steam basically. It's going to be like a boil steam. My cauliflower, my broccoli, everything in the pot is actually nice and soft. It is ready for me to add my spinach and add the salt and pepper. Thick, it's creamy. I can't wait to get into it.